Well, it is coming up right on 11 a.m. And I am just excited to see those who are going to log on, maybe those of you who might be watching later, to just learn about the You Can Learn the Bible Academy. We've been doing a 2-week launch for the past couple of weeks. It's been a whirlwind. It's been amazing. I have met people around the world who have blessed my soul, and just, man, it's been a whirlwind. So today, as people kind of hop on, what we'll do is I'm just gonna kind of answer some questions live. I have some of the most important questions that I'm just gonna go ahead and answer here. And then as those generate other questions, you can feel free to type in the chat. That's gonna be the best way to do it. You'll see that YouTube will require you to be a subscriber of the channel for 5 minutes. That is not something I put on. That is something they put on just to kind of minimize trolling and just kind of make sure that people, just one simple level of security. So if you're able and willing to do that, and you want to type a question, typing a question in the chat is, of course, the best way to do it. I've got some founding members here that can maybe answer things too as I kind of begin to roll through the content. But if you join, as you kind of hop on, type if you feel comfortable where you're at, if you're a founding member already or not. Just kind of, let's just get some chatting going. If you guys want to, that would be amazing. I'm going to start in about a minute or so going through just some of the core essential things that I think are the most important for people to know, and I want to respect your time. So as you guys log on, if you're here live, go ahead and just type where you're from, where you're at, if you choose to, and then maybe anything else just that you want to say as we kind of get going. So I'm going to grab my water and we're going to get after it. So well, this is the last day of our founding member launch for the You Can Learn the Bible Academy. So the idea here is, what I want to be able to do is I want to talk about today's plan. And so essentially, here's the questions that we are going to answer today. Who is this academy for? And why does it exist? What does it offer? How does it actually work? And then when can I join? So just basic questions, right? But even as we kind of get going, if you're not able to stay, I've allotted a full hour for this because I wanted to be able to kind of share some stuff and then also ask questions live. So I'm going to just go ahead and present some of the basics here. But even if you're not even able to join for that, I wanted to even right up front just talk about kind of the entire talk in one slide. So for example, this is kind of the TLDR right here for today's plan. So even if you're not able to stay the whole time or you're watching later, if you just look at this one slide, this is going to summarize our entire morning together. So who is the You Can Learn the Bible Academy for? It's for people who want more than a sermon, but not quite a seminary. So it's an online training community for people who might be a little more hungry, but they're not going to make a jump to like a formal Bible college, of which there are many great ones out there. So why does it exist? It really exists to give tools and support. So there are so many tools out there, but there's not necessarily a place that I've seen that really takes you on a journey of that first step. A lot of times, if you want to learn, you're kind of on your own to go find stuff. The why I'm building this is because I want to help walk people through what I feel after 20 years of ministry are the fundamentals. But really, the whole reason is so that you can pour back into the ministry that God has called you to do. So that's the why. The what is, we are an online community of all over the world. And what we're doing is we are going to be walking through what I call the Bible study success path. So that is really the journey, the high level journey of the academy is this thing that I call the Bible study success path. That's what it is that we're actually doing together. How we go about it is a variety of different ways that online training makes possible. So like we're going to do a mixture of cohorts, which is like a group sprint that we kind of start and go through together and really dive deep on one topic. Or live events. There's online courses that I'm going to be adding into our space. We have daily discussions, and then later I want to be able to add one-on-one coaching, which I'll talk about as a bonus today. You actually get one free call with me if you join on our founding member launch today, because tomorrow the price is going to go up. So this is like a limited time offer for people that like the journey that I have shared about and want to get in early. And we have, as of right now, we have 190 spots left. I capped the academy at 250 people. So there's 190 left as of today, and some of the bonuses expire. So that's a high level overview. What do I mean when I talk about the who? Who is this really for? So people who want more than a sermon, but not quite a seminary. So it's the idea that the You Can Learn the Bible Academy was born out of a need that I saw as a pastor, where I wanted to be able to give those hungry, excited people in my church a little more than just a sermon. Sermons are great, but they can't do all the work. And a seminary is a big jump. It's more expensive. The workload is there. You have to really orient your life around going to seminary. But I didn't see a lot in the middle. There's of course tons of podcasts and books and resources, but you're still kind of on your own. So this academy is designed to be a way that we can go through the essentials, the fundamentals, the most important things together. So that's really kind of the who. It's really for people, again, who are kind of in that middle area, who want more, what I call more than a sermon, but not quite a seminary. So after I kind of go each of these, if you have questions, if you're logged on and you want to ask anything, just type it in. I can see your questions there. So I'm just going to kind of keep going. And then if we don't have questions, then we don't. That's going to be fine. But I wanted to at least make this available for people. But this is kind of my dream, my vision, to be able to offer this. So basically, why? Oh, let me go back a slide. Because why does this academy exist? To give you the tools and support to help you accelerate your growth and fulfill your ministry. So that's really the heartbeat of what I want to offer. I want to distill down what I feel like is the journey of understanding the Bible down to its core essentials. And then I want to equip you with those so that you can then take that into the ministry that God has called you into, whether it's a home group, a Bible study, a church, whether you might be called to go to a full seminary. This might help you, get equipped to just make that step from just kind of being part of a church, which is great. I believe the local church is where we should be doing discipleship, but it's not always happening. So if this can help supplement that for the people that are really hungry and excited, that's what I want. So tools, but it's not just tools. There's plenty of tools out there. It's the support. It's being there for people at the spot they're at, what they need in the way that they need it, so they can really know where they're at and help them move to that next step. That's really what makes this special, is the community element, the combination of the tools and the support to help you really achieve the ministry that God is calling you to do. So that's kind of the why. That's the high level why. But another reason on the why is that the church needs you. If you're somebody who's hungry to know and to be a disciple of Christ, to share, to impact this world, we need you. And the more trained and equipped you are, the more impact that you will have. And so I wanted to just call back to this. I know you guys may or may not have heard of this. It's called the State of Theology. It's a very in-depth survey done by Ligonier Ministries and Crossway every other year. So what they do is they basically try and tap into the pulse of people when it comes to their beliefs on theological things. And so if you want to see the whole thing, it is a very rich, in-depth report. It's available at thestateoftheology.com. So if you want to see, so what they'll do is they'll basically ask these survey questions, and then they will keep track. They've been doing this since 2014, and they will keep track of the answers that they see. And so I don't want to go into all of it except one part that's relevant for this academy and why it really shows why I think it's so important. So statement number 16, what they basically did is they would say a statement to people, and they would ask them, do you agree or do you disagree? And the statement number 16 was this: the Bible. So this is what they're basically saying. Hey, do you disagree or agree with this statement? The Bible, like all sacred writings, contains helpful accounts of ancient myths, but it's not literally true. That was the same statement in 2014, 2016, and on. And you can see that in 2014, 41% of people surveyed, and this I believe was people who claimed to be Christians and people who did not, agreed with the statement that the Bible is a helpful ancient guidebook, but it's not actually true. It's not universally true in the objective sense that it's true for everybody. In 2014, 41% of people said this statement right here was true. 2016, 44%. And you can see on this slide, it's not trending the right direction. In 2022, the most recent, 53%, more than half, basically see the Bible as just ancient literature that might be helpful. And then this quote I thought was really, really interesting. So that's the whole thing. If you want to go see more, it's a State of Theology. This was the most important quote for me. U.S. adults increasingly, so this is only U.S. adults here, I think that they surveyed, increasingly reject the divine authorship of the Bible, relegating it to the same category as other religious writings and sacred texts. Okay, do you hear that? The Bible is just ancient religious literature. This view makes it easy then for individuals to accept biblical teachings that they resonate with, while simultaneously rejecting any biblical teaching that is out of step with their own personal views or broader cultural values. This is the clearest and most consistent trend revealed by the State of Theology since it began in 2014. So when I say, friends, that the church needs you, I desperately mean it. I want to equip people not just to believe. Your faith is yours and is part of your journey. I want to strengthen your faith through knowledge and through community. And that's what this is designed to be. So that's a little bit on the why. That's kind of the larger why. Let's move into the what. Okay, so we talked about who it's for. It's not for seminary students, and it's not for people that just kind of want to go to church and just be part of a community. It's for those who want more than a sermon, but not quite a seminary. Why? Tools and support. What is it that we actually are going to do? Now, this is the journey of the Academy. I call it the Bible Study Success Path. So what do I mean by that? So when we go to, many of us are involved in churches, which is wonderful. The idea is that what is keeping you focused on eternal things between the Sunday and the Sunday? What are we doing? A lot of times it's kind of up to us. So I wanted to provide a way to have a community that's available to you literally at the tap of your phone or the click of a button, where you can get support, encouragement, connection, and community, where you basically can stay connected from one Sunday to the next, where you can continue to grow. And it wasn't entirely up to you to kind of do all of that. I think people fall on their Bible reading plan or their devotionals because it's all up to you. And a lot of times if you've got something to just hop into and join that's already kind of moving, it can make it easier and it can help you succeed more. So that's really part of the idea, is to help you stay connected. It's not to become your church. This is not a church. It's to help you invest better and deeper into your church. So that's kind of the part of the idea there. Is this so this success path is more the content journey. And what I've done is I basically answer the question, if you really want to learn the Bible, what do you need to know? What are the essentials you actually need to know? And I think if you can learn the basics, the essentials in these 5 areas, you'll drastically increase your Bible literacy and your delight, your joy in Scripture. So these are the 5 areas. So I want to walk through this with you. There's 5: skills, story, context, Jesus, and identity. What do I mean by each of these? This is what I mean by the Bible Study Success Path. So again, I'm keeping an eye. Hey Ryan, I see your question there too. I wish the question, my software doesn't kind of automatically put the questions on there. So I see every time I see a question, if I see it come in, I want to address it right when you ask it. He asks, when are the cohort lessons going to be available? Wonderful question. They're going to be available pretty much. They're going to be one of the next things that I work on after this launch phase is over, pretty much after today. So great question. So this is going to be one of my first priorities, Ryan, is to get one of my largest courses that I have on YouTube imported into the Academy, and then we're going to start on cohort 1. So we'll talk about cohorts in a second, but that's pretty much immediately as soon as I can. So I have a staffing problem at the moment. It's only me doing this. So anyways, but no, that's as soon as I can. That's a high priority for me. So I've got a spot in the community you'll see that are kind of placeholders right now. Anyways, what do you need to learn the Bible? Number 1, I think you've got to have some skills. So you basically, so the goal of the area 1 is to gain the proper tools and mindset for learning. So here, some of these obstacles that I've heard people are like, I just don't know what the Bible is. I don't even know how to find time to read it. Or they think I'm a bad reader. Or when I read it, nothing really happens. I don't really know what's supposed to happen. Those kinds of things, I think, fall in the skills category. So, or I don't have a way to share what I want. So I want to give you kind of the foundations. And a lot of this is basic literature or literary skills as well. But here, what we really want to talk about are the basics of the Bible, but also things like time management and habits, your perception of yourself. Some people feel that they're just not good learners. So your expectations, how we actually prepare ourselves or set ourselves up for success is all about this skills area. So it's somewhat of Bible stuff, but it's also really about kind of our self-perception as well and ways to kind of share and grow. So that's just a high level view of what I mean by this first area, skills. Number two, after we've got some basic skills down, we want to move to story. Story is being able to connect the major events in the biblical narrative. So the Bible is 66 books. There's a ton of stuff in there. But my view is that if we can know the major events, we now have a framework. So if you feel like I don't know the timeline or my Bible knowledge is spotty, I know some things, but I have lots of books I've never even touched. I don't know the structure. I don't know like the major moments, and I don't know how my own life fits in. This story area, number two, is really designed to address this kind of thing, where we want to talk about the single story that the Bible tells, some of the major events, how they relate to one another, what this theme of covenant means, and then ultimately our place in the story, because the story is still being written. But that's the idea. So we want to talk about kind of where we've been, how we fit in this second area of story. So I realize I'm going kind of quickly. If you have any questions, just type it in the chat. This will be recorded later as well. So once you got some skills, some story, we then want to talk about context. Now, context is knowing how to study each book with excellence. So here, this area here has to do with things like, I don't know the genres in the Bible. I don't even know what to look for or where to start. I don't know the cultural references. I don't even know what this thing is, but it's supposed to be from God. I don't even know where to go about it. This is where context is going to be very important, because each book, it comes in a particular genre. It comes at a particular point in the story. So if you know the story first, that's why story comes before context, because now we can go to a single book and really see how that book adds to what we call the collection or the canon of Scripture and what unique things it offers us. But different Bible books have different things that are true about them in different genres. So we want to have the skill of context. That's the idea here. So we want to talk about genres, the author's intent. Why was it written in the first place? What are some strategies for each book? What's the background and the cultural setting? And then who was the original audience and the occasion? All of this is part of part three of context. And so that's a little bit on number three. So again, I'm going to just kind of go through all five, ask any questions as we go. If I don't see questions, I'm just going to just keep going. I always can talk. So you guys know that. But now we're into number four, because once you have some skills, once you understand the story, once you know of some context, now we really want to talk about number four, which is Jesus, who is the Savior, but he's also the centerpiece of the whole thing. The entire Bible points to him. The volume of the book is written of him. So the obstacles were here, like, I've heard of Jesus. Everybody knows who Jesus is, but I don't know his like full impact. I don't know the differences between the Gospels, which are the historical records of Jesus' life. My Old Testament knowledge is weak. I don't know what makes Jesus unique at all. Or I'm just like, the world that he lived in is so foreign. It's 20 centuries ago. What would it look like to have a fundamental understanding of Jesus? That's what we want to talk about. That's what we want to equip you with in this area number four. I want you to know the chronological life of Christ. I want you to know the role of each gospel book, how Jesus fulfills Old Testament hopes. I want you to know about who he is, his unique nature, his works, his words, and basically the world that Jesus lived in. If you can get what's on the screen right now, you will be so far ahead of so many people who have gone to church for years but have never really been taught how a lot of these parts fit together. What if we could even do this in a 4-week sprint in a cohort? That's one of the things that Ryan asked about that we're going to talk about in a second. But this is still more the high-level journey. This is area number 4. And then, gosh, look at this. If we can learn some skills, if we can learn the story, if we can learn the context, if we can understand who Jesus is, ultimately we come to the end of the journey, which is where our life connects back in. And so I call this area number 5, identity. Because if it doesn't unite and deepen our lives in Christ, then it's just merely academic. Now, the Bible is academic, but it's not just academic. It's historical, but it's not just historical. It claims to be from God. So if that's true, now we get back kind of to the end of the journey where we started. Now we're talking about skills, but a little kind of in a different way. This is more about how does this transform who I am? So if you have ever felt like I struggle with spiritual growth, or I have trouble defending or just articulating my faith, I don't memorize things well. I see this as part of it becoming part of our hearts and minds and character. More than just the academics, this I feel like is shaping who we want to become as followers of Christ. So, and some of you might say, I just don't know, what God is calling me to. A lot of this, I think, is the result of us wanting to be united to Jesus. So what we'll do is I want to talk about things like spiritual growth, habit formation, scripture memorization. How is it that this now doesn't just become head knowledge, but it really shapes our soul, our spirit, our peace, our joy? Because ultimately, Jesus said, I came to bring life and life abundantly. And so this Bible study success path is kind of my way of trying to capture all of the most important things in the Bible, bring them together into a simple, easy to follow journey, and then do it together with people who are just like you, who want to grow, who are interested. So that's the what. So we've talked about who it's for, why we're doing it, what the success path is, kind of what it is that we do. But now let's talk about how. So how is it that we actually go through this success path? This is where it gets fun, because this is the variety of options that we have within online education today. So if you can see kind of, there's like a quick list here: cohorts, live events, courses, daily discussions, and even one-on-one coaching, which I'll talk about in a second. So a cohort, what I want to then do is I want to go back to, let me go back one slide here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a cohort, which means a 4-week sprint through each of these areas. So for example, let's say, great, I don't really know the story of the Bible very well. Well, I have a cohort planned for you. It's a 1-month sprint, same with skills, same with context, and I have laid them all out over here on this page down here. Actually, that's the home page. Sorry, let me just type it in here. This is the roadmap. So if you're want to see kind of where we're going, YouCanLearnTheBible.com has the roadmap of where we are going. So one of the first things I want to do is add in one of the biggest courses, maybe the way you found me in the first place, what I call the Complete Bible Overview. I want to get this into the Academy, and I have a bunch of cool updates I want to add to this course. So this is what kind of happens first. But after that, I have a cohort for each of these areas. So as we look at this, the way that we actually gain the proper tools and mindset for learning is by workshopping together. So for number 1, let me just kind of flip back and forth here. For number 1, we're going to do Bible study fundamentals. So I'm going to create some videos ahead of time, and then we're going to talk through what are the absolute essentials of Bible study in a 4-week sprint. That's the goal. I want these to be super short, super distilled for you, so you can just get the most out of a topic without having to spend years and years and years. I really want to condense and accelerate things for you. Sorry, I lost my chat thing over here. So that's the idea here. Is I've got a cohort for each one. So the videos are going to go, as soon as I get this video, I'm going to kind of work on these 2 over the summer, essentially, is getting this large course that's finished but needs kind of an update. And then this first cohort, which we're going to start in the month of October. I'll talk about that a little bit more later. So that's the idea here. But I want to get started immediately on this. A live event is something where the community says, hey, I'd like to learn something. So these are kind of one-off events that are totally based on what people want to learn right now. I have cleared my schedule to basically prioritize your growth. If you're part of this academy, you get to come and say, oh my goodness, I don't know what Revelation's about, or I'd really help me understand some of the basics of who the apostles were, or anything. That's what I see. Hey, let's do a live event. And we've already started doing some of them already with some of our founding members. Courses are kind of, self-explanatory. They're finished work that I'm going to put in that you get to go through at your own pace. The complete Bible overview then would be a course. This one is going to be a course. You can see that this one here says project type cohort. This one is like an overview. Should say course right there probably, but that's the idea there. And then we're going to I just want to talk and hang out with you guys every single day. I want this to be a place where you don't just post something and nobody responds. Like, it's a living community. It's a part of your life every single day, so that when you go back to your church fellowship, you've had an easy way to stay connected to other people who are for you and your growth the whole week. So that's the idea. And then coaching, which I'll talk about in a second, that is you and me working one-on-one to help you achieve your goals. That's pretty much what that is right there. So anyways, so this is a screenshot of what the Academy actually looks like. So this is so if you go to youcanlearnthebible.com and you're a member, you log in, it takes you right here. And this is our private membership Academy space. There's some courses that we see. You can follow the mouse right there over here that I'm building out. Everything's kind of in just a placeholder phase right now, except the discussions. People are asking questions. People are leaving introductions. We've already had a number of events. This is our private space where I hang out all day, every day for you if you want to grow. Like, this is where the Academy is inside here. Just go to youcanlearnthebible.com, and all you would do is just log in right here at the top, and then it takes you right into this Academy space right here. And this is where I'm excited. People have already asked things, and so this is really dependent on what you want to learn and how I can help you accelerate your growth. So that's the idea of how. We got cohorts, we got live events that the community kind of generates, courses, which is work that I've kind of done and will create in the future. But the daily discussions is great. So let's just talk about when. So I'm looking at right now, today is the last day of our founding member launch. Many of you who are already founding members, which is great. And so I'm going to send this out to you might be watching this later, and you're watching it just to kind of see what the Academy is about. So tomorrow, the price goes up. The Academy is going to stay open, but the price goes up kind of significantly because I really want to reward those people who are the most hungry and excited first. So right now there are 190 spots left, and there's some bonuses that expire today. So if you join in today, you basically get a couple really nice bonuses. For one, you get like the lowest price ever, which is $248 if you pay a full year at a time, or $62 per quarter. And we do operate on a quarterly rhythm. So the idea is the membership is annual, but you can pay once or you can break it up over a year. But the commitment is an annual membership. But sometimes just putting all the money up at front isn't as doable for people. So I wanted to at least have an option where you can pay once or break it up into quarters. But it still is an annual membership. You can see, though, after today, the price is going to go up significantly. So the yearly price is going to go up from $248, which is the 2-week founding launch price, to $396, essentially $400 a year. And so you can, or $62 a quarter or $99 a quarter. So there's no benefit for paying yearly or quarterly. That doesn't matter. It's just what preference you have. There's one price. It's just how you prefer to go about it. But if you do join today, what you get is a free one-on-one coaching call with me. That is the thing where I basically get, and these have, by the way, been incredible. I've gotten to sit with people and hear your where you're at, what you want, like immediately. And now I get to craft the Academy based on what you want. You don't get this in seminary. You don't get people, you just join into what they've already decided. Here, we get to build this together. The smaller the group that's here, the more attention and love you get, and the more you grow, the faster you grow. But what's great is it's so cool to be able to have a place that's online that doesn't require you to travel, doesn't require you to just go log into something there. We want to make it easy and approachable and affordable. But that's the idea here. So if you're watching this today on June 26th, you may be watching this. I'm going to email this out on a replay. The price is here, and it's going to go up tomorrow. The founding member launch is essentially over tomorrow. So if you're watching and you're considering doing it, and if this kind of thing is the thing that you want, I really would love to make sure you know about this. If that's something that would be a blessing to you, because the price is going to go up. The Academy will stay open throughout the summer, but it's just going to be at the full price. And so if you're thinking about it, today would be a great day to join if you haven't already. Also, on Wednesday, what we're going to do is we are going to do a founding member celebration. So for the people who have joined, I've already met up with a number of people, both in one-on-one calls and in group calls, and the energy has been incredible. There are people at all different places in their spiritual journey. There are people that their Bible's brand new to them. There's people that have been Bible readers for years. There's people who are in different denominations, different parts of the world, different ages. That's my favorite part about this. All that matters is, do you want to grow? That's all that matters. So what we're going to do, though, on June 28th at 12 p.m. Pacific, we're going to do a founding member celebration. And I've already alluded to some of it, but I really want to lay out the plan for our first quarter, which is July, August, and September, quarter 3 of 2023. That we're going to talk about. I've talked about some things here, but I've got a full stuff I haven't mentioned here that I want to make sure you guys know about. So if you join today, you get to be a part of this founding member celebration. You get to get the founding price, and you get to basically lock in this price. That's another benefit here is that as long as you choose to stay, your price will never go up. But this standard price is going to be what it costs tomorrow. And as I create more and more and more courses and content, this price will go up in the future as well. So I really want to make it affordable, and I really want to find those people that want to grow and really offer them the best deal and the most attention. So that's where we're at. So if you want to join, if you join today, you'll be invited into this founding member celebration on Wednesday. And so I'm pretty much done. I mean, I can hang out as long as we want. I don't see many questions coming through, so we can end early, which is great because you guys have lots of other stuff to do. Let me make sure that I have, oh goodness, sorry about that. Let me make sure my windows are there. I'm going to email this out. So if you are watching this later and you do have questions, send me an email. Just reply to the email that you got it from. But essentially, I wanted to just end with this verse right here, which really is one of our theme verses. It's just something that summarizes what I want for this community. It's Colossians 3:15, which says, "Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly, teaching and admonishing one another in all wisdom, singing psalms, hymns, spiritual songs with thankfulness in your heart to God." And I really like that. The first line is really for us. Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly, right? And it's not just that you have facts. It's that it's changing your heart and spirit. Ryan, good to see you too, brother. Have a great day. And that's it. So we're not a place where we can sing here together. That might be kind of weird, but really it's more, we want to dwell. I want to provide a place for you to grow all through the week. So that's all I've got. Unless there's no other questions, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. But I'm looking at the comments here. Thank you so much for just your time and attention today. And I'm excited to see if anybody wants to hop on in these last few minutes. But I'm essentially done. And thank you, founding members, for showing up. And if you have any other questions, go ahead and I'll just hang out for a second or two. But feel free to sign off. I'm going to go ahead and email out this shortly. But man, I couldn't be more excited to just I don't care how big our community is or how small. I just care how hungry, how excited. That's all I care about, because the people who are in here are going to get my very best. And that's what this is designed to be. I really want to accelerate your growth. So I'm not seeing any other comments come in, which is great. So